How do you develop software in a team? How can you be at your best? Well, for that you need Git. You see, in the past, many software companies used a file-based version control system. They had many directories with many versions and it was just super hard to maintain. Now, Git solves this problem in a beautiful way. It enables you to manage all those versions in just one single directory, the directory you're currently working in. Without Git, you run into problems like accidentally overwriting somebody's code, not even knowing what your coworkers are working on, and of course, those annoying merge conflicts. In this course, I'm going to show you how you can solve all those problems and 3 additional things. First, I'm going to show you how actual software companies use Git and what their Git strategies are. Then, I'm going to show you the Git command line, so you can find your way around that, reason about the bugs you're getting and actually debug them properly. And at last, I'm going to show you some basic teamwork principles of Git, so you can avoid those annoying merge issues.
To get a sharp vision in your head of what Git can do for you, I'm going to sketch an image guided by Git strategies of actual software companies. You see, it's very important to adapt your Git flow to your software development flow. They should work together seamlessly. But how does Git support software companies with their software development process? In my experience, most software companies use the DCAP development cycle. It's a 4-step cycle starting with development, then testing, then acceptance, and at last production. But how does this translate to Git? Let me explain. Let's say I ask my imaginary team members to develop a red and a purple button. And let's say we define those as 2 separate features. Once they are finished, they merge the feature branches into the development branch. Then it is time for testing this new version. We merge the development branch in the testing branch, and meanwhile we run tests on it in our testing environment. At one point, we don't detect any bugs anymore, and we ask our client to run some tests too in their environment, because surely their environment may differ from ours. We've reached the acceptance phase. The moment they don't detect any bugs anymore either, we can assume that it is safe to release the software and merge the acceptance branch into the production branch. It is clear that the production branch should always be in a functioning state, but may hell break loose, Git enables us to go back in history and restore it to a functioning and safe version. That is the power of Git. So to keep it straight to the point, I'm going to skip the installation process. It doesn't really matter whether you're on Windows or Linux, because in the end we will all end up with a command bash Git tool that will understand the commands that I'm going to use right now. So at the present moment, your directory doesn't even know you want it to be a Git repository. For that, we use the git init command. That command initializes your repository by adding a .git directory, which will keep track of all the changes you are going to apply next. Using the git branch command, we are going to check whether we have some branches in our repository. As you can see, the output is empty, which means that we have no branches yet. In order to solve that problem, we are going to create a new hello-world.html file using the Linux touch command. Unfortunately, creating a new file isn't sufficient. We also have to create a commit. The creation process of a commit is a 2-step process. The first phase, the staging phase, is the phase in which we prepare all the new files. In the second phase, we specify exactly which files we want to include in the commit. Now, before we add our hello-world.html file, it's a good idea to check the current state of our repository. As you can see, using the git status command, we can see that we have some untracked files. It says use git add file name to include in what will be committed. By executing the git add hello-world.html command, we are preparing hello-world.html for the commit and finishing up the staging phase. Now that the staging phase is finished, the act of adding your files, we are going to the commit phase. For that, we are going to use the git status command again to see what's going on. As you can see, we have no untracked files anymore, we only have changes that can be committed. For that, we are going to use the git commit file name command. Now, don't be shocked. You will probably end up in a text editor like this, in which you can add a commit message that specifies what this commit is about. In this case, this is simply the root of our Git tree. Simply save and exit and you're done. Congratulations, you have just added your first commit to your repository. You can now verify whether it actually worked using git status. As you can see, we have nothing to commit anymore and our working tree is clean. This should also mean that we now have a Git branch, and using the git branch command we can see that yes indeed we now have a master branch. Nice. In the next phase we are going to repeat and reinforce some stuff we just learned, and we are going to add a new feature. It is very important that our master branch always stays and remains in a functional state. That means that it shouldn't have any bugs at any moment. For that reason, it's a good practice to develop new features on a separate branch. To create this new branch, we can use the git branch name command. And to verify whether that worked, we can use the git branch command. As you can see, we now have two branches, the master branch, which we are currently on, and the new say hello branch. Now we can switch to this new branch using the git checkout branch name command. And we can verify it again using the git branch command, and as we now can see, we are currently on the say hello branch. In the next phase, we are going to add a simple feature to our new branch by simply adding some text. For this you can use a text editor, but I have decided to use some Linux commands. The cat command displays that we have added some content to our file. Now it is time to create a new commit again. First, we are going to add our files in the staging phase using the git add filename command. We can verify whether it worked using the git status command again, and as you can see, we don't have any unstaged files anymore. Now we are going to create a commit using the git commit filename command. To finalize our commit, we simply add a commit message. And once we verify that it works, we can see that we have nothing to commit anymore and our working tree is clean. Perfect. Now, assuming that we have made no typos at all, we can safely merge a new feature in the master branch. Now, to prove that Git actually works and that we can manage multiple versions in one single directory, I'm going to show you that hello world.html can contain different contents depending on the branch that we are on. Now on the current branch, the say hello branch, our hello world.html file contains some text. This same file should be empty on the master branch. Let's verify that. We use git checkout to go to the master and then verify whether we are on that branch using git branch. Now we are going to check the contents of that file using cat hello world.html, and as you can see, the contents of that file are empty. This is a proof that Git worked. Now to finish up this section of the course, we are going to merge the new feature we have just created into the master branch. For that we use a new command, and that command is called git merge. We're going to type git merge branch name, and now the say hello branch has merged in the master branch. We can verify that again using cat. As you can now see, even though we are on the master branch, we have the contents of the say hello branch in the hello world.html file. Now in the previous section, we have worked with a local Git repository. Now that's very useful if you want to work on your own, but if you want to work in a team or want to share your project with the rest of the world, you have to host your Git repository at a remote hoster like GitHub. The key thing you will learn in this section is how you can share your Git repository with the rest of the world. For that reason, I'm going to cover the things we learned previously, like adding and committing, much more quickly. Now, as you can see, I've just created a new remote Git repository on GitHub and initialized it with a readme file that says Git Course Demo. I challenge you to do the same. You can then gain access to your repository just like me by copying the access point and executing a new command. That new command is called git clone. It will download the remote Git repository in a new directory. To show you that it actually worked, I'm using Linux-specific commands like cd and ls to access that directory and show you that the repository indeed contains this readme file with the text Git Course Demo. Now again, we are going to add a new feature, and of course for that we need a new feature branch. Now, let me tell you a secret. In case you want to create a branch and switch to it immediately, you don't have to execute 2 commands. There is a shortcut. You can use git checkout -b branch name to achieve exactly the same in just one single command. Using a Linux-specific command, I'm adding the feature to our README file, just like I did before. The feature simply consists of the link to the article about this Git course. Now it is time to create our commit. First, we use git add. Secondly, we use git commit. If you want to enter your commit message immediately, you can use git commit -m commit message alternatively. After the commit, our new version is prepared. We go back to the master and execute git merge. But as you can see, git status does not output the usual. Our local master branch is 1 commit ahead of the remote master branch. Let's publish our new feature. For that, we use a new git command called git push. It will ask for some credentials, and after you fill those in, you'll see that the remote repository will update. Congratulations, you just shared your first feature with the rest of the world. So far, we've learned how to use Git both locally and remotely, but we haven't talked about working in a team yet at all. When working in a team, merge conflicts can occur and you should be ready to solve those. Now, don't get frustrated, don't remove the repository and just clone a working version. Learn to solve these issues and you'll receive the benefits from it in the long run. Let's get into it. So, just like in the previous section, we're cloning the repository, and as you can see, the README now contains our new version. This is also reflected in our logs, which we can view using a new command called the git log command. Now, to create a merge conflict, I cannot just build upon the current version. I have to act like a colleague of mine who decided to edit the README at exactly the point as I did. Then, when I try to merge, we have conflicting edits, and how are we going to solve that? Now, at this point, you should be very familiar with this phase, so I'm going to skip over it quite a bit. I'm simply creating a feature branch and adding some text to the file. Then, I create a commit using git add and git commit. After I created the commit, we have arrived at our point of interest. As you can see, git merge does not work immediately. We have got ourselves a merge conflict. Let's solve it. When you execute a git merge command and git detects a merge conflict, you end up in a merge conflict state. To solve this merge conflict, you have to edit the file again. As you can see, Git has helped you by giving you 2 options, separated by several equal signs. The version we created in the previous section and the new version we just introduced. I'm going to pick our newest version and remove our previous one, but keep in mind that you are free to remove and add whatever code you want here. Since we have edited our code again, we have created a new version and every version requires a matching commit. Let's create one. Now Git knows that we are still merging and will therefore provide an example merge commit message for us. How kind is that? At last, there's only one thing left for us, updating the remote Git repository using git push. Then our colleague can use a new version too. As you can see, 2 commits appear. Our new feature and the commit we created when solving our merge conflict. It worked! Now our colleague can download a new version from the remote Git repository using a command called git pull. But well, I am going to leave that for you. Remember that watching videos isn't enough. Get your hands dirty and really practice this stuff. Only then you will become good at it. Try to avoid those user interfaces like source tree and get comfortable with the basic mechanics of Git. It will make your software development life and that of your teammates much easier. Good luck.
Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. We just finished editing this video and we really like to do it, but it was really difficult to do. You may have heard some inconsistent audio, but well, we learned a lot. Anyway, you made it till this point, so that's a good sign. If you liked it, please leave a like and please leave some feedback. We would really appreciate it. Bye.